Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our course vlogs. We're out here at the beautiful Tahquitz Creek Legends course. This is the original Palm Springs municipal course. One of the OGs out here. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and we'll see you out there. Here we go. Tahquitz Creek is located right here next to the Palm Springs International Airport. So we're not going to be able to fly the drone. We're going to have to go back to the map on the side once again. And here, the first hole, you're just going to have to hit it over the riverbed, just 190 yards to fly that creek edge and down the runway fairway here. Just a simple 135-yard pitching wedge for me, just a smooth one here to the middle of the green. And you're going to see a trend here with these greens, only 28 yards deep here on the first hole. This is one of the bigger greens on the golf course at 28 yards deep. I'm not kidding. You're going to see 400-yard par 4s like this one with only a 23-yard deep green. Luckily, most of the course is a very old-school layout. This is the original municipal course here in Palm Springs, and it's been here a very long time. So just some simple, straight fairways and these simple, tiny little greens. But they're not very simple when you get on them, as they have severe slopes running through them. And, well, if you don't get it close, and especially if you're not underneath the hole, the ball will roll out a significant distance. And, oh, I was able to get that one to drop for just another comfy tap-in par to start the first two holes. And here we're onto a par 5, and although the first two par 4s are significant length, this par 5 is under 500 yards. Not a problem with either of those bunkers down this fairway. Just got to make sure I hit that skinny fairway. And nope, down the left-hand side next to the apartments here. And there's just a few palm trees I'm going to have to deal with. But I did have to cut it around that palm tree and try to get it all the way up to this elevated green. This is one of the bigger ones on the golf course, but I just didn't quite get that 7-iron to fly all the way up there. Playing here at dawn, it was a little colder in the morning, and the ball just wasn't flying as far as I'm used to. Well, that's all right. This is a short par 5, so we can get this up and down for birdie. Didn't quite hit the chip shot as good as I'd like, but I just fed the birdie putt on down there for another comfy tap-in par. I like to start the day with 3 in a row. It just kind of gets the day rolling. And we're here on to the fourth hole. Another 400-yard stick straight par 4. Now you're really going to get a feel of old school Palm Springs down here. There's some homes lining this course that has some really cool terrain in their backyards. Make sure you check that out as you're playing here. And some beautiful overseeded rough if you miss the fairway and you're out here in the wintertime. This is a fluffy lie here, and the ball jumped on me all the way over the back of the green. But you can see here the conditions are perfect when I was playing out here in the wintertime. And I was able to get this one up close and give myself a chance for the par here. It just wasn't meant to be. The first bogey of the day, dropping me down to 1 over par. But here we're finally facing a little bit different of a par 4. Multiple bunkers down the fairway is going to protect any kind of a layup you have here to this short par 4. And so I decided to take out my driver and get it as close as possible. And I landed right up here against the tree and had a very awkward lie on the roots. I checked around me and made sure it was a fluffy lie. There was no root underneath the golf ball, so just had to hit a simple chip shot and forget all of the weird surroundings around me. Left the ball underneath the hole here. A simple 8 feet up the hill to snatch that stroke back from the last hole. Yes, let's go. There we go. A birdie to salvage that last stroke back to even par and on to the next par 5 here on the front 9. The longest hole on the front 9 as well at 563 yards. Now, there's not very much trouble down there for me as I can fly both of those bunkers, but this is a very, very tight landing area. It's a tight little fairway between the homes. Just couldn't quite land it down the middle, and I didn't really have a shot at the green either. So I had to punch this out and just land it down the fairway with a comfy number in. Now, the 75 yards should be a full lob wedge for me. And I played the number right, got the distance right, but not as close as I'd like to be to have another shot at back-to-back birdies. But you never know, sometimes the long putts on these pure greens can go in. You saw that ball was trying to come back at the end. I thought I read the break properly, but it just didn't quite come back. And now look at this, a 225-yard par 3. And I absolutely flushed a 5-iron here. Playing right into the rising sun there. I couldn't quite tell how close it was. Well, it was only 4 feet. Let's knock it in, get down to 1 under par, and get on out to the 8th hole where I can take the driver back out again and wail on it. Now, this is one of the longer par 4s on the front 9 here at 445 yards, but again, the bunker is well out of my range, and I can take this drive right over the top of it, just a little down the right-hand side, but again, a beautiful fluffy lie here in the over-seated rough, and a pitching wedge to a front hole location, but it jumped again out of that rough, sending it all the way back to the back of the green. Another slippery 30 to 40 footer here down the hill to the front of the green. You really want to be underneath these hole locations to give yourself looks at the putts. But that's just another comfy tap-in par to maintain 1 under and head into the par 3 9th hole. Just a par 3 over the riverbed from one side to the other. 150 yards to the front of the green, we were playing a middle hole location. So this is 165, which is the number on the card. And I smoked that 8-iron right over the back of the green into the rough and hit a terrible approach shot here to this. Man, you can see how much the ball just really wanted to roll out on these greens. About 15 feet here for par. And that's not what you want to see when you're making the turn. It's back to even par with that unfortunate bogey. Hey, that wraps up the front 9. Don't forget to subscribe down below, and we will see you next time for the back 9.